I'm Dr. Nolte, and this is Blind Politics. But there are a lot of other folks who might run, and they are in a couple of tiers. The next tier down are the dark horses, people who I think have a reasonable chance of winning if they can catch a wave and if things break right for them. So that brings me to number 3 on my list, who is Virginia Governor Glenn Youngkin. That's right, I said Virginia Governor Glenn Youngkin. As I said, these next candidates are kind of in a bunch, but I think Youngkin stands out, and not just because he's really tall, as tall as you'd expect from a collegiate basketball player. What stands out about Youngkin is a couple of things. First of all, he has at least as much business acumen as Mitt Romney, and Republicans love a successful businessman. We forget that for all that Romney was seen as a little bit wooden or stiff by the end of his run in 2012, he was pretty successful in 2008, and he did win the nomination in 2012. Republicans like a businessman. And where Romney was a little bit wooden in style, Glenn Youngkin is already more effective at connecting with the populace and with the people than Romney is. Think about the iconic fleece sweater vest of his 2021 run. He's got a little bit more of a folksy style. Think Mitt Romney meets Tim Pawlenty, or one of the other governors who is a little bit more salt of the earth. And also, Youngkin is a committed evangelical. He's not in your face about it, but it's evident if you listen to the way he speaks and watch his approach to political issues. So I think he's going to have a lot of appeal to social conservatives, and he's going to have a lot of appeal to that Republican element of the base that likes a business person, someone who's not necessarily a career politician. By the way, that was part of Donald Trump's appeal, but it's going to be hard for him to argue that he wasn't a career politician after he's been president of the United States. Youngkin also has a ton of money that he could commit, and he's good at retail politics. In short, every faction of the Republican Party has at least some reason to like Youngkin. And you can imagine a situation where DeSantis and Trump are flailing away at each other, and Youngkin is shaking hands with every Republican voter in the state of Iowa and every Republican voter in the state of New Hampshire, and he pulls things out, positioning himself very well for South Carolina, where I think, as the governor of a not too far away state, he would play pretty well. However, one of Youngkin's greatest strengths is also his biggest weakness. While every faction of the Republican Party has a reason to like Youngkin, I don't know that any faction of the Republican Party would love Youngkin. He's not a never-Trumper. He's not an always-Trumper. He's fiscally conservative, he's socially conservative, but he's not throwing strident red meat for either of those factions of the party. He is a broadly acceptable candidate, which is actually how he got the nomination in Virginia's ranked choice primary system. And while I think ranked choice would probably help Republicans pick a very electable presidential nominee, it's not the system they use in most of their primaries. Youngkin's biggest weakness is that he runs the risk of being everyone's second choice. And it's hard to win a lot of primaries if you're everyone's second choice. That being said, he's also got the advantage of being a governor whose part of whose territory is inside the Beltway. So he's going to get more media exposure than some of the governors further down on this list. And that, combined with his other advantages, I think make Youngkin slightly more likely to catch a wave than the candidates below him on this list.